Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Blue Golf Ball today with another Pokemon TCG online video, and today's deck is brought to you guys by Venusaur. He requested to see a Mega Venusaur deck, so at the time he requested it, that was about a month ago. I put it on my list and I was gonna get to it, but I had some other requests from you guys and I had some other deck ideas of my own, so I never got around back to it of building a Mega Venusaur deck, but I was able to build one today, and so let's take a look at him. It is a 100, just kidding, it's 230 HP grass type Pokemon. Mega Venusaur EX does have 4 retreat, which is pretty, yeah, it's a bummer. It is weak to fire type, but I don't know. Hopefully we don't run into any of those. But Crisis Vine is does 120 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed and poisoned, and that's kind of like a lock, sort of. But your opponent can always play switch since we don't have an item lock. We can't really switch into Trevenant or something like that. But I don't know. This Mega Venusaur is pretty bad, but we'll try to go with it. I mean, this is one of the 2 first Megas we ever got to see, and it came out in the XY set. So here is the non-Mega Venusaur. This is just the regular Venusaur EX. It is a 180 HP, and it's got Poison Powder and Jungle Hammer. These attacks aren't that impressive, but I don't know. We will be running a 1/1 tech line of Leafeon with Energy Crush, just to have a little bit more of a quick attack, and no pun intended. But I mean, it's only a 1/1 line, so it's not that heavy, and we're not really going to rely on them too much. If we ever run into Pyroar, we can kind of do this. Let's say, for example, Pyroar would need like 3 energy, so Energy Crush would be doing like 100. We'll be doing 60 plus a Muscle Band. That's 80. But if our opponent has 6 total energy, that could be a knockout. Even 5 would be a knockout with a Muscle Band. That'd be 120. So I don't know. And we only run one of these. Most Pyroar decks run multiple Pyroars, but we'll have to see. We'll be running 3 Virizion EX. It does have Verdant Wind, but the attack we want to focus on is Emerald Slash, right? You can search your deck for 2 Grass Energies and attach them to one of your bench Pokemon. The Mega Venusaur requires 4 energy, and it's just so heavy, so costly that we got to run Virizion here to just energy accelerate and try to get Mega Venusaur into play. And so that's kind of the strategy. As for our A-spec of choice is going to be Dowsing Stream, discard 2 cards and get back any trainer card into your hand, including Stadiums. We'll be running 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers, 1 Professor's Letter, 2 Robo Substitute. Now, I'm going to play this because when we Mega Evolve, since there is no such thing as a Spirit Link for these guys, we basically lose a turn. So what we want to do is shove Robo Substitute into the active spot and then lose our turn. So we'll have to force our opponent to at least play like a Lysander to drag out our Mega Venusaur or something. Otherwise, we do have Start on the Megaphone here, one of these. Got a Switch as well. Probably should play a couple more. Okay, so we have 2 and 3 Ultra Balls and 2 VS Seekers. That's it for the item cards. Let's take a look at our support line. We have Colress, one of these, 2 Lysanders, 1 Lysander's Trump Card, 3 Ends, 1 Professor Birch's Observation, 4 Juniper, and 1 Skyla. Now, the Skyla's really good for scenarios where we need to grab out Silent Lab, right? The point is, because we rely so much on paralysis and poison, now, if our opponent plays Virizion EX, that won't work very well for us. So we're going to be playing 2 of these to counter our opponent's Virizion EX. And yes, it does counter our own, but remember, our focus here is to do the attack. Emerald Slash is just to energy accelerate. That's really the only purpose for Virizion in this deck. A secondary purpose would be for Verdant Wind. So if we end up using Silent Lab on our own, and that's too bad. Also, Silent Lab would work against Sigilyph and Suicune, so it would shut down their abilities as well. We'll be running 3 Verbank City Gyms, and so if anything, we will definitely rely on this to try to knock out Pyroar. I mean, we do have Mega Venusaur here, which can do a 1-hit on Pyroar, but it's going to be tough to get him out. He's really slow. Pyroar is a little bit quicker in terms of setting up. And then we always have Leafeon here, too, to kind of have the poison damage go about. So that's it, 3 of these. And then let's take a look at our tool cards. We've got 1 Float Stone in case we need to use it to have situations where we retreat. 3 Muscle Bands could work very well for Leafeon and for Virizion. But, of course, we can always attach it to our big Mega Venusaur here as well. A nice thing that works out is that with Mega Venusaur, if we have Burbank City Gym, Muscle Band, and then does poison damage, that would actually one-shot a lot of the EXs out there that are 170 HP, so that's kind of convenient. Otherwise, we will be running 13 grass energies, and so that's it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and see this deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Okay, looks like we're playing against the Snow Dude, and the Snow Dude is playing a Lightning, Metal, and Fighting deck. Let's go for heads. We actually flipped tails. That is a bummer for us. Same thing for Genesect decks. It'd be really good to get like turn 2 Virizion EX or something like that, but we start off pretty bad. I mean, my opponent has a Landorus over here. Again, my opponent has Metal type, so I'm assuming, and that might be Jirachi. Ooh, we even see a Scorched Earth. My opponent is going very aggressive, very strong here. The Landorus here can hit for a ton of damage. Let's go ahead. We're going to counter this here. And what I want to do is we're going to end up discarding the Dowsing Machine. But if we can get Virizion out here, that would be very good. And we'll even slap this here. Let's go for the switch and play the Virizion here, or play the Juniper, play the Virizion in the active spot. We'll even go for the Hypnotoxic Laser. We flip for tails. That's okay. Let's go for the Starling Megaphone. That gold switch, my opponent says. And that's it. We end the turn. My opponent can hit us for 40 damage. But we'll have to wait and see. My opponent does play a Juniper, discarding a Dowsing Machine of his own. We see 2 Primal Groudons hit the discard pile as well. My opponent can always play Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick to get that Primal Groudon into play. 2 Hawluchas hit the field, and I mean, we can knock one out with the Lysander. If we top deck a Grass Energy, I'll play the Lysander, knock out one of these Hawluchas. They're just super annoying. Otherwise, we could knock out the Landorus as well. Coming into our turn, my opponent will be down to 60, so I've got a couple options there. I think I might want to knock out the Landorus, but the Hawluchas here are a lot more threatening with Flying Press. Since it'll be hitting my EXs with a ton of damage, and that's just very inconvenient for us. We see my opponent discard the Korrina and a Fighting Energy. My opponent can always get that Fighting Energy back into play. We see the Groudon EX hit the field, and there's an energy drop on the Groudon. We see our Stadium get countered, and there's the Fighting Stadium. My opponent hits us for 60, and the Groudon EX getting powered up. Oh boy. So right now, I definitely don't want to play the Hypnotoxic Laser or the N or the Lysander, especially the N. My opponent only has 1 card. So what I want to do is just go for the Juniper. We didn't top deck the card I needed, but let's go ahead. We're going to go with this here, and let's see. I'm actually going to go for the let's just go for the Emerald Slash. At some point, I'd like to get we'll bench another one of these guys here as well. So let's go for the Emerald Slash, getting 2 more Grass Energies into play. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Grass Energies. Oh boy, and there goes the Landorus. My opponent can definitely bring the Groudon EX out, but we see the Hawlucha. Again, the Hawlucha with a Strong Energy Muscle Band. That would knock out our Virizion EX, and that would be very tragic. We wouldn't be able to really respond to anything at all right now. We can do a Poison Powder. That would actually knock out the Hawlucha. But the Groudon here is weak to grass. And that's it. My opponent passes the turn. We'll counter the Stadium here. And I'm going to save the Hypnotoxic Laser. My opponent's got 6 cards in their hand. So let's go ahead. We'll play this here. And since my opponent passed the turn, I think this would be a good opportunity to pass the turn as well. So let's go ahead. We'll just go for the Hypnotoxic Laser. And no, we couldn't put him to sleep. That's a bit of a problem there. Let's see. What we can do, we can play the energy here. And I can definitely go for the Juniper. I think that would be a good thing to do. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll do that. And let's take a look here. Darn it. We do get this little guy here. And you know what? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just take out this Hawlucha. If this Hawlucha was asleep, man, I feel pretty bad. We end up burning a Hypnotoxic Laser. So we have 1, 2 Mega Venusaurs in the deck. We're going with this one over here. And there it is. So what I want to do is top deck a a Mega Venusaur. That would be great. And then we can switch into the Robo Substitute and then just kind of go on from there. My opponent right now can do a massive Rend, but then we can bring out our Venusaur here and do a Jungle Hammer since the Groudon EX is weak against Grass type. Now, ideally, I would love to bring out the Mega Venusaur, but my opponent has to tread pretty carefully here. And to consider potentially getting the Groudon EX knocked out. Or my opponent can promote the Hawlucha and then Mega Evolve. Unless my opponent has the Spirit Link, then my opponent wouldn't lose a turn. But here we go. We see the Hawlucha hit the active spot. I would assume we could see a knockout here with like something like Strong Energy, Muscle Band. But nope, we see the energy drop on the Groudon EX on the bench. And my opponent might end up passing the turn. We see a VS Seeker. Could go for a Karina, could go for the Juniper. I'm assuming it's the Karina, and it is. My opponent can get the Mega Groudon plus the Spirit Link. That would be very impressive, being able to take out our Verbank City Gym. No, all we see is the Landorus here. A little peculiar. I didn't really see that coming. I was going to assume we would see the Mega Groudon. But both, I mean, why did I say Mega? I meant Primal Groudon. I apologize. And that's it. My opponent concedes the match. Okay, and there we go. We even get a little ticket to boot. And all right. And the nice thing too is that I'm actually doing the what do you call it? The daily challenge with the grass Pokemon. So, all right, here we go. Mega Venusaur again. Let's check him out. All right, we're playing against Mario SNB, and apparently we have the advantage. Mario is also playing a grass deck. This time we get to go first. That's always good news for us. We see a Hypnotoxic Laser, Verbank City Gym, and a Rare Candy. Not too sure what that could be. Ooh, there we go. This is going to be a very interesting match. More grass energies. We see an N. We see a Skyla. My opponent ends up mulling again a number of times. I am glad we got to go first. That is great news for us. Now, we start with the Float Stone. I kind of don't really like that, but we'll have to wait and see. So let's go ahead. We will draw a bunch of cards here. Wow, that is great. Let's go ahead. We'll play this here. I'm going to go ahead and play the... I suppose we'll play the Muscle Band, I think. Or the Float Stone. I might play the Float Stone. I feel more comfortable playing the Float Stone. Let's go ahead. We're going to take out the Silent Lab. I don't think we really need that there. Let's see. I got a lot of choices here, don't I? Well, okay. So we're gonna take out these guys here. I suppose I can always get them back with a VS Seeker. So let's go ahead. We'll get the Venusaur. It looks like one of our Venusaurs are prized. And we'll go with this right here. And I think we're going to end the turn. That's it. Okay, we'll end the turn there. We got a 6-card hand. My opponent also drawing another card, gets a 6-card hand. We can see my opponent play an N. All we see is a Trevenant here. My opponent hits for a Dark Force. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. Oh, that is awful. But you know what? At the same time, that's okay with me. My opponent only hit for 20, so we're going to go ahead. Let's just evolve right now. Why the heck not? Why the heck not? We will Emerald Slash in the next turn and go on our merry way. We got the Muscle Band here. You got to wait to see if my opponent plays the Muscle Band on his side of the field as well. Either that, we'll just end up discarding the Starling Megaphone. So there it is, the Trevenant hitting us once again. So you know what? Let's see here. I regret it not playing the VS Seeker for the Lysander. Should have done that and taken out this guy here. So let's go for that. We'll Emerald Slash. If my opponent doesn't evolve, we'll just Emerald Slash again for the knockout. So here we go. I'm wondering what's going to happen next. We got a Mega Venusaur here. We got a Juniper in hand we can play. And there we go. My opponent evolves into the Sceptile and definitely can start healing my opponent off. But no, my opponent chooses not to evolve. I think my opponent notices that the retreat cost was a little bit higher. And so my opponent's going to go and retreat the Grovyle here and then evolve into the Sceptile. That's going to be a better plan for my opponent. Now, I did miss the opportunity to Lysander out the Grovyle earlier, but that's okay. I don't mind that at all. So this Sceptile is a 2 retreat cost, and my opponent's going to go for the Dark Forest, hitting us for 20. Won't be able to retreat, but that's okay. When we bring out the Mega Venusaur, that would be a knockout on the Trevenant, more or less. So here we go. We'll even play this here. We even get a Robo Substitute, and, you know, why not? Let's play the Silent Lab, I think. Nah, forget it. Okay, we'll go with the Juniper, and we even get the Verbank City Gym. We'll play ours first. We hit for Tails, and here we go. I can't retreat, but what I can do is Emerald Slash and power up the Virizion on the bench. So our Venusaur here is ready to go. Our Virizion EX is ready to go. And if my opponent wants to knock out our Virizion, he can say hello to the Mega Venusaur. And that's a beast, I'm telling you. The Sceptile can do Nurture and Heal, but Nurture and Heal would only heal 30 damage. It doesn't remove special conditions, and so when the moment that my opponent knocked out the Virizion EX, it's GG, I think. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to end my opponent, and we even get a switch, which we can use, but I'm going to go ahead, we'll play end my opponent down to 4. And wow, we have so much energy that I don't know what to do with them. So let's just go with the Crisis Vine, taking out the Trevenant. Crisis Vine, oh my goodness, my opponent has to do something here. We are, even though we're tied in prizes, we're technically pushing the lead right here. My opponent can still play a number of different things. We can still see another Trevenant hit the bench, or maybe like a Virizion and then an Ether plus an energy drop, and then hit for an Emerald Slash out of nowhere. But nope, all we see is a Treecko. This Sceptile will get knocked out. My opponent goes for a Skyla. We could see something like another Professor's Letter. Wow, that's 4 energies in the discard pile. And, you know, this Trevenant EX has a very similar attack to Keldeo EX, right, doing 20 more damage. But the problem with that, with the energy acceleration, it relies too much on Virizion EX. And the sad part is Virizion EX will get rotated out. And there it is. My opponent goes for a Hypnotoxic Laser, but it doesn't work because I have the Virizion EX on the bench. And there we go. Mega Venusaur taking the win. And hey, what do you know? We played a bunch of more grass Pokemon, so we got a little bit more of a experience for the grass Pokemon. Now, I typically play 3 matches for you guys, and I'm going to do that today. If I lose this one, then so be it. So let's check out Mega Venusaur one more time. Alright, it looks like we're going against Maxor 24, and Maxor's got the advantage. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't really see what my opponent was playing, but we start off pretty strong. We even get a Robo Substitute. We get a Hypnotoxic Laser. We have the Virizion. Oh, shoot, why did I do that? Oh, man, that was a huge accident. What the heck, man? Oh, no, misclicked. Oh, my goodness. Misclicked big time. Oh, what the crap? Oh, no, wait. Oh, no. What is going on here? How sad. Huge misclick there. What happened? I did not click Juniper. Oh, my goodness. That is just tragic. Oh, man. Hi, sub. Oh, hi. Yeah, I misclicked big time on my turn 1. So here we go. We will go for this. I'm gonna go for the Emerald Slash, and we'll get 2 more energies out. We got 3 left. That should be enough to get the Mega Venusaur going. So my opponent can slap a Muscle Band, and that could pretty much knock us out if my opponent can do. Let's see, another Strong Energy Muscle Band Fighting Stadium. That would knock us out. Wow, that's insane. Let's see here. Yeah, so oh, that's great. Okay, Landorus EX can definitely put a hurt on us in the next turn if I can top deck a Grass Energy. Oh my goodness, 3 Junipers, 5 Grass Energies already in this card pile. In the next turn, my opponent can can knock us out. But if we can top deck a Grass Energy, the Landorus will be down 30 more HP, and then we should be able to knock him out with a Poison Powder. This Venusaur is a tank, man. Okay. We see a Hawlucha. We also see a Lucario. Let's see. 3 ends, Juniper, Golbats in the discard pile. We see a Full Art Lysander as well in there. My opponent goes for an Ultra Ball, discarding a Karina and a Fighting Energy. We see another Zubat. And okay, there is the Lucario with the Fighting Energy, the Strong Energy drop right there. So our Venusaur takes a hit. But okay, so I mean, we basically can just knock him out right here. I'm going to go for the Colress, get into a pretty decent hand right here. Let's just go ahead. We'll play this here as well. In the next turn, we should be able to just go for the knockout, I think. Let's see, going into my opponent's turn, my opponent... let's see, my opponent would be down at 20 HP. My opponent wouldn't be able to retreat. So, you know what? I'm just going to evolve. Let's just retreat into the... okay, forget it. We'll just knock him out. Okay, and we'll get the one more energy on here. So, oh man, we could use a Lysander's trump card big time. We see the Hawlucha here. The Hawlucha can definitely put some damage on the board. My opponent's only at 1 card, so... And there it is, the Lucario taking out the Virizion. But what we're going to do is just go aggressive. We... let's see here. Let's go with the Hypnotoxic Laser. We do flip heads. And we will Mega Evolve right here. My opponent stays asleep. We have to wait and see if my opponent's got the switch. Now that the Mega Venusaur is in play, wow, we got 5 energies on there. Man, I am not paying attention whatsoever in this matchup. Oh, darn it. Man. So we will hit for a knockout here going into my opponent's, going into our turn. We'll just knock out the Lucario EX. My opponent can play an energy on Hawlucha, and that would definitely do some damage there. My opponent goes for, ooh, we even see a Scoop Up Cyclone, and the Hawlucha can put on a lot of damage, or the Lucario, and we see a Scoop Up, Super Scoop Up, bringing back the Zubat there, and with the Golbat, that can actually do some damage onto our Mega Venusaur. We still have 180 HP left, so that's always good news there. My opponent plays a Professor Sycamore, getting a fresh hand. He even counters our Stadium, so we do have a Stadium here to counter again, but yeah, I mean, if we... What we'll do is we'll definitely get... I think we should be able to get the knockout on Lucario. I'm hoping my opponent retreats. What we're going to do is we'll take the hit, and then we're going to go Crisis Vine. We'll play the Verbank City Gem, and that's 150 damage. My opponent would be locked, but okay, so here we go. We'll go with that. We'll go with this, and we'll go with Crisis Vine, locking, unless my opponent has a switch, but the Lucario here would be pretty much stuck, I think. And right now, all we would need is to bring out the Landorus, and then we'll take the last 2 prizes. But we'll take a look here. We got a VS Seeker in there. We should have one more in our deck. And man, if we can get a Lysander's trump card, that would be great. The Hawlucha gets a Muscle Band, and there is the knockout right here. We get a Muscle Band ourselves, but that's not that convenient. And there it is. My opponent concedes the match, and that's 3 matches for you guys. Mega Venusaur, folks. Mega Venusaur is a beast. He is a tank. And okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That was a lot of fun. And Maxlord24, if you guys see him online, give him a high five for competing. That was a good match. GG to you, Maxlord24. And yeah, hopefully you guys liked the video. Thank you, Vitor Torres, for kind of suggesting wanting to see a Mega Venusaur deck. I played 3 matches for you guys today. I typically don't do that, but I thought I'd be generous and you know, showcase 3 matches. So if you guys have any deck ideas, please shoot them to me. Send them my way. I'll see if I can build them. And yeah, you guys give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good day. Goodbye.